Okay, guys, today I want to talk about social dynamics and how it relates to the NPC meme that was going around a while back. Because this is something I talked to Double D about a long time ago. That, like, I used to think, like, I still do actually, certain people are kind of like special or kind of important or something different about them, and then, like, most people, like 80 to 90% of most people in the world, are just like extras in a movie. Sort of like there's people that are the actual actors, and then there's people that are just kind of in the background that don't really affect anything. Or like they used to say, like in the Bible, I think it said like there was 44,000 people that were going to make it into heaven. I used to think maybe there's like 44,000 archetypes, and then everybody is one of those 44,000 archetypes. And then most of the archetypes are just like not important or something. Because you get kind of a feeling about people that they're something different about it, you know, or that they're awake or that they're conscious. Then this NPC meme came out, and that totally like affirmed what I had already been thinking. And if you don't know what it is, it's this thing. This explains it. A real person has a conscience that's sitting in their brain, watching the input from their eyes and their ears, like on a TV screen. And you can have a conversation with it. You can talk to yourself. You can like have an inner dialogue. And then what happened was somebody realized that most people don't have that, and they just like are directly seeing and hearing the inputs from their senses, and they're not actually, there's nobody home. There's nobody in their brain like to like have a conversation with. Like they don't even know what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean you talk to yourself? Like you hear voices? Like they don't know what it means. They just like people that are, most of this goes back to like political stuff, like Orange Man bad, Trump bad, and people just parrot what they hear and they don't really think for themselves because there's nobody there in their brain to think with. They just see what's happening and they respond to stimulus, and that's all there is. But I wanted to talk more about stuff I've been seeing at work because my old job, I'd never seen anybody much. For the last 15, 16 years, I've been working by myself with nobody really there much. I mean, there's a few people I would see every now and then, but now I'm actually seeing like hundreds of people coming in and out every day, and starting to observe things again and see things about humanity. It's kind of weird. So at work we have this hierarchy. It's like a corporate structure that shows like who's in charge and who answers to who, and everybody has these pictures that they take that are like, you know, just looking directly at the camera like this. And then they did a few new ones. They redid them, and one guy is like slightly turned and looking at the camera, and there's another guy that's like this, but he has his hands on his hips, so his arms are kind of out a little bit. And you wouldn't believe how many people have like remarked on these two guys having different poses than everybody else. It's like it blows people's mind, and they're just laughing at it. Like, look at him with his side pose, and look at him with his hands on his hips. Like, who gives a fuck? Why does this interest anybody? Like, this isn't important at all. Like, why are these people? Are they just that bored? Or are they really find it interesting that somebody would like do something different or stand out in some way? And it just freaks me out. But this NPC thing, I had an idea the other day because I've been playing Sudoku at work. And in order to play Sudoku, if you don't know how it works, you got these numbers and you got to fill them in a certain way. Like you can have 1 through 9 in every box and every row and every column. So you have to ask yourself logical questions like, could this be this number because this over here already has one of these, and what are the numbers that are missing, and how would it work if this is over here? This has to be in this 1 or 2 spots, which will mean in the future this has to be here, which means that can't be this, and you have to like talk to yourself in your brain. So I've always thought like a lot of people don't understand Sudoku. I thought it was just like, oh, they're bad at math, but there's no math in Sudoku. It's just like logic puzzles. Like, could this number be here or not? There's no math. I don't know if they've been told how it works. It's pretty obvious. Like, I never was taught how to play Sudoku. You just look at it and you see how it works. But I'm guessing these people that they can't have a conversation in their own brain because there's nobody there to have a conversation with, Sudoku would make no sense to them because they can't ask logic questions to nobody that's not there. So if you can play Sudoku, you're probably not an NPC if NPCs are real. If you can't, then that totally would lead me to believe that you might be an NPC. So what else is going on? Oh, there's a lot of things socially relate to driving. Like, you've probably seen the comedy skit or comedians talk about, if two people are driving, or three people, let's say there's a guy in the front and a guy riding shotgun and there's a guy in the back, and they pull up somewhere and they drop off the guy that's riding in shotgun, and then, like, the guy that's driving won't leave until the guy in the back gets out and gets in the shotgun. And then the joke was that, like, I don't want to feel like your chauffeur driving you around, but it's really just this weird social thing where it's just people don't, if you want to talk to somebody, it's weird to, like, talk to them from behind. But it's okay if there's another person there, because then you're kind of forced to. So it's weird, like, this woman, she drives to work every day, and like 4 o'clock, she'll get there like 4 o'clock, and she'll sit there, and she'll get out of her car and get in the passenger seat because her husband gets off at 4:30, and he'll get in and he'll drive her back home. Like, if she drove there, why wouldn't she just drive back? Like, what does it matter who drives? But it's like, if there's a man there, the man has to be the one driving, because it's weird for the wife to be driving the husband around. I guess socially it is. But, like, it doesn't make any sense for her to be getting out and, like, swapping seats for no reason. There's also... Is that one? Let's see what's... Yeah. There's also, like, these couples that go out on break together. And I've seen this in high school, too. Like, some people, they don't have any outside friends. Like, they have a couple, and they're always together 100% of the time. You never see them separate. It's like they're one person. And they don't have any friends of their own, apparently. Because you would think at some point, and I've been there like 2 months, you would see these people, like, the girl would have her own friends and he would have his own friends. Sometimes that they would go out on break different, like, together with other people or something. But it's like they're inseparable, and it just don't make sense. Or I guess I'm just a lonely person that don't understand it. But I think there's something to that. I also had this idea, like, they'll take people on these tours around the plant that are trying to get a job there, and they'll show them, like, what the job entails. And then I've heard one guy say at the end of the tour, he'll say, like, okay, so if you don't, if you think this is too much or you don't really like it, you can leave now, or we can go upstairs and get the paperwork started and we'll hire you and stuff. So it's like they give them an out, and it's like, I thought, like, if you give people a chance to back out of something like that, and you have one person there, then it's fine. They can just back out, and there's nobody to see them, like, fail or quit or whatever. If you have, like, 30 people there, and you're going to expect a few of them to quit, then it's not a big deal, so people will quit or they'll back out. But if you have 2 people, it's all of a sudden, it's like there's a competition. Like, I don't want to back out. Do you want to back out? I'll back out if you back out. Oh, I don't want to back out. It's like a competition. Like, nobody's going to back out if you have 2 people. Or maybe even 3. I don't know how many the number is before it gets to where it feels safe to back out of the thing. But if a certain number of people will not back out because of the competition feeling that's there. So that's kind of interesting.